Hello, founders. It's Tanya here with more financial intel and insight to blow your mind and build your bottom line. So, I want you to know that I appreciate where you're at on the entrepreneurial journey. I'm an entrepreneur myself, and I know that business success can sometimes seem elusive, right? The entrepreneurial journey can be fraught with highs and lows, ups and downs, to say the least. But I also want you to know that in my 30 years of working with entrepreneurs, I have noticed that most entrepreneurs are 80% of the way there. They're 80% to achieving the success that they desire. It is just that there is one main block that keeps them and prevents them from achieving that success. And that is what today's video is all about. What is that one main reason? And then how can we actually start to pull together the fix so that we can achieve that success on the other side and go the distance? So if you know anything about me, you know that all of my work is rooted in financial empowerment. And with that being said, it is likely that you can guess what that number one reason why most business owners don't make it is. And that is money. Money management is the number one reason why most business owners fail. And in fact, according to a recent study by US Bankcorp, 82% of founders fail for that very reason. They fail to due to poor financial management. So today, I want to lay out for you kind of 6 subsets what that might look like for you in your business. And this is based on research through SCORE. It's a mentorship organization that works out of the U.S. And most importantly, again, I want to share with you what the fix is, or at least the start to that fix. So 82% of founders are struggling with cash management, cash flow issues. So cash flow issues typically mean that you don't have enough money in your bank account to cover the expenses, right? Everything always feels tight. 79% of business owners are actually starting out with too little cash. They didn't ask for enough money at the very beginning, which puts founders in the situation of constantly robbing Peter to pay Paul, right? That's a big subset of that one. 78% of founders are starting out without a plan, AKA a forecast. There's no financial plan that will show the founder how they're going to get from where they are now to where they need to be. In business speak, we call this a forecast, financial forecast. 77% of founders are not pricing properly. Let's be honest. In the work that I've done, I know that most founders are basing their price based on what the competition is doing. And 98% of all business owners, including sole proprietorships, are going to go down in 5 years. So why are we basing our why are we basing our pricing based on competition that's going to go down? At Nail the Numbers, we actually base our pricing on a hybrid of competition plus costs, knowing exactly what you're out of pocket to sell that product or service, and then value, really knowing what solution does my product or service solve in the marketplace? What is the value behind that? And then pricing accordingly. 73% of founders, I might find myself in this bucket, tend to be overly optimistic with respect to their sales projections. And 70% of founders are failing to recognize the areas in which they are weakest from a business perspective, the skill set perspective, and then hiring to fill those weaknesses. Right, so 70% there. So those are 6 subsets of what poor financial management may look or feel like. So how do you tell if your financial model is flawed, if you're going through any of these financial hiccups? Well, outside of the obvious of feeling stressed and not having enough money in your bank account, I want you to keep in mind this one super simple formula. And it is this: if your expenses exceed your sales, you have a financially flawed model. It is not working. And I also, a little caveat to this, I want you to know that sometimes just generating more sales does not fix the problem. This is actually what led to a huge challenge that I faced back in 2009. I thought more sales would fix the problem when in fact it increased my net profit deficit. So that's a separate post that we'll talk about later. But again, the formula is if your expenses exceed your sales, something's off with your financial model, and money management is going to be an issue. All right. So how do we fix it? Well, the fix is actually found in knowing what it is that you are building. I want to just take a step back for a moment, and outside of business, let's just talk about building a house. Because the reality is, if you are about to build a house, there is no way that you would hire the excavation crew and get all of that equipment and drive off to the piece of land and actually start building a hole without you knowing exactly what it was you were building, without having that blueprint of knowing what the square footage was and how many floors it was going to be, and knowing what that budget was specifically, because that's going to map out not only what you're building, but it's going to map out exactly how you're going to get that built, and then what size of hole you need to start digging. Now, unfortunately, for most business owners, they start digging the hole without knowing what they're building, and then they just dig deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. So if you're struggling with money issues in your business, I'm going to suggest that the very first thing you figure out is that you figure out what are you building. And if you're not sure what that looks like, I want you to take into account these 5 questions. Okay, are you ready? Go grab a piece of paper and a pen, because here they are. I want you to think about, we'll start here. How much will my business be worth? Okay, little side note, 87% of your personal net worth is tied up in your business. Your business is actually an asset. It's probably one of the biggest assets that you have in your portfolio, but you haven't looked at it as an asset. So I want you to think about question number 1, how much do you want your business to be worth? Number 2, when do you want that value to be recognized? So how much will my business be worth by when? Third question is by having what impact in your community? So what problem is your product or service solving, right? So what impact? Question number 4, who do you serve, right? So this impact is going to be felt by whom? And question number 5 is by offering what products or services. So let me just recap that again. How much will my business be worth? By when? By having what impact? On whom? Through what products and services? In the work that we do, I like to call it filling the gap, because outside of the money management issues, what I really truly do believe is the main reason most business owners fail is they do not know their financial goal. They have no goal. They have no alignment to that goal. Like, why is it important for them to achieve that goal? And then they don't have a plan in place to actually achieving it. So the start to the fix is getting crystal clear on what that goal is going to look like for yourself. Now, if you want more support with that, you'll notice either down below in the notes, there's a link for you to look at the Stronghold budget. It's completely free for you to take. And in that work, this is where we help you build your personal budget. And the 2 outcomes of that personal budget is you're going to know exactly how much the business needs to pay you every month. And you will also know what your retirement shortfall is. Those 2 numbers start motivating you to better understand, I can no longer afford to build a lousy paying job for myself. I actually need to build a business that is going to be worth X by this date, by having this impact on this group of people through offering these products and services. We're here to support you through that whole process. All right. The bottom line in this message is this, and that is that a solid financial framework is what is going to get you to the end. That plan is what tethers you through all the ups and downs and through all the challenges. Because when you know what you're building, all of your decisions become very, very different. You cut out the noise, you cut out the chaos, you cut out the confusion. It's just, here's where I'm going and here's how I'm going to make it happen. So I'm going to leave it there. This is Tanya signing out, reminding you that you've got to know your numbers if you're going to nail them. This is where we help. And if you like this post, please hit like and then subscribe, because I come to you every Friday with more intel and insight to blow your mind and build your bottom line. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.